Kia ora! The brand new LEGO Lord of the Rings Barad-Dur set was revealed, and this set has sparked some much needed discussion and controversy amongst some of the groups that I've been in. Now keep in mind that my strange accent is from Aotearoa, New Zealand, and we are talking Lord of the Rings here, so obviously the NZ LEGO group does have some dedicated opinions in this. I wanted to highlight a couple of things that I missed in my news video because I was just so excited to finally see the thing, and then we'll close the video with a discussion about LEGO's future with the theme of Lord of the Rings and why the community is currently feeling as though LEGO and the ambassadors are out of touch with said community. There are timestamps and links in the description if you want to jump around. So for those who missed it, this is LEGO Barad-Dur from the Lord of the Rings movies, more commonly known as the Eye of Sauron, which was a very important landmark that was missing from the previous releases from 2012. The set releases June 1st, just a couple of weeks away, with 10 minifigures and 5,471 pieces in total. Now that's actually just under 700 pieces less than what Rivendell has, which actually does make me feel happy as far as those prices go, and speaking of which, we have a confirmation here, 460 USD, which translates to 690 Australian dollars and 760 in NZD once you've converted those prices. The official price from LEGO themselves though, 700 Australian and 750 NZD. Hell yeah baby, we get this slightly cheaper than the US audience. I'm so sorry Australians. I don't understand what's going on with the conversions lately. Now that I know what the price is, I can start to contemplate more and more on whether or not I want this, and I've been thinking about this for the past few days now. I do have some mixed feelings on this overall. It's ultimately just me kind of going back and forth on deciding if I really want to spend $750 in 2 weeks or so just for a gift with purchase. Let's get into it. The tower is 83 centimeters tall or 32.6 inches, 45 centimeters wide or 17.7 inches, and 30 centimeters deep or 11.8 inches. So yes, it's very big. We even have an image comparing this to Rivendell, but really, everyone wants to see this thing next to Orthanc, so I guess I'm gonna have to try and find my Orthanc tower again soon. I'm glad to see such a hefty base built into the structure because this was one of the things that I was most interested in seeing. Unlike Orthanc, this isn't just a tall tower, it's more like an entire castle-like structure. Here at the base, I was really curious to see what LEGO were going to do here. Had this released in 2012, I can assure you we wouldn't be seeing something as detailed as this. The interiors look pretty solid in my eyes. I predicted that this would be closely resembling the Tower of Orthanc because we never actually see the interior of this place in the movies, so here LEGO have provided some fun interiors based on other Mordor-like landmarks. I'm using LEGO's description from their site. The base here has an armory area, Gollum's hideout, and a small prison featuring a corpse. Directly above that we have this small dining area, which I think resembles the area in Return of the King where Frodo has been captured and all those orcs start to brawl. Our next room here is a throne room with a feature that apparently allows it to open up and reveal a map of Middle-earth inside. The next floor is a very tall tower, which features the mouth of Sauron's study, and then finally we end with a library. It is incredibly similar to the Tower of Orthanc. It looks remarkable build-wise, it really does, and I know that this would just be an amazing thing to build up. There's also a small inclusion of a little Mount Doom-like stand for Frodo, Sam, and Gollum, which is about as much as I kind of expected when I heard that they may be included in the set. I love the inclusion of the orc disguise helmets for Frodo and Sam, and they also include swappable hairpieces, but it is laughable to me to see that these are the exact same figures released from Rivendell. Gollum is a fresh new mold, and that's really good to see. I'm genuinely very satisfied with that, but I hate the no pupils thing that LEGO keep insisting on doing for their character designs. The design's awful to me, it lacks consistency amongst some of their other themes. For reasons that are unknown to me, people excused Ahsoka and Hera, but they started to draw a line at Darth Maul. I am hoping that this ends soon because I've never been a fan of this even when Ahsoka released. The orcs are really insane with their extreme details here. LEGO in 2012 managed to get away with reusing the exact same figure design in every single set, and looking at these orcs here, I can't believe that even I was okay with those 2012 designs. This is above and beyond what I was expecting, and part of me thinks that this is evidence that the LEGO Lord of the Rings line won't be translating into regular playsets. I just don't know how you would get away with repeating your orc figures after doing this. The orcs do seem to reuse the same leg pieces depending on their flesh tone, but all of them appear to also be using different torsos and possibly unique head molds as well. I really want to see what Gothmog looks like underneath there though. He could possibly be reusing something, and I would imagine so. There also seems to be some extra helmets included and possibly more customizing options for your orcs. I think having 7 enemies in total from Mordor is a decent enough number here for me personally. These guys make up for the lazy inclusions of the Frodo and Sam. Gothmog is actually as huge of a highlight for me as Sauron is. I really appreciate it when LEGO make figures based on characters who could have easily been overlooked. We knew that we were going to be getting at least 4 miscellaneous orcs, so to have an actual named character here is really great. I'm actually privileged enough to have the original Blackgate set, review for that coming soon by the way. So the Mouth of Sauron figure, he's not here for me. He's here for all of you who missed him the first time. Just ignore the price tag for now, I understand. He looks to be the exact exact same figure, and honestly, I think LEGO should do this more often with remakes of their desired expensive figures. Bring down that awful aftermarket price tag by releasing a remake figure that's scarily similar. Everybody wins, except for those profiting off aftermarket sales. Sauron looks good. I've said my piece on him in the last video. I wish he was taller. He's not really as intimidating as the LEGO games would make him out to be. They reintroduced the tall legs and long arms in the Avatar line, but they haven't been using them in other themes. I don't really understand. I would have liked to have seen something new with him, but regardless, he looks pretty good for what he is. Now, controversy time. The gift with purchase here is a Felbeast set, which was originally rumored to be included in this set, and it was even rumored to have 3 minifigures in total. I don't really know what's been going on with leakers and rumors these days, but they keep getting so much more wrong. I do think that this is a cool enough promo. It's a nice enough build ultimately, but I don't think I'm sold on that $750 price tag. If this was just included in the set, like how the Star Wars sets lately include smaller builds of their ships, I'd be totally satisfied with this. Ultimately, the lack of details here for the head of the beast really throws it off for me. I'm expecting to see some really nice improvements from the community here. They did make a fancy mold for the wings there, so really I'm confused what's going on here. I've even reviewed gift with purchase sets on this channel that had stickers. We couldn't have even had some stickers of some eyes. I was originally worried that the figure would be the Witch King, and I'm actually really glad it's not. It's just a base ring wraith. He looks good for a remake of the 2012 figure, but not by too much. What I'm getting at here is that just like the May the 4th droid carrier that released this year, I think that this is a decent enough promo for those that are interested, but it's also a good enough promo that you can skip it if you really have to. I don't think you'd be missing too much by not getting this set day one. Now comes to the discussion from the community and what really sparked controversy I saw. See, back when Rivendell was announced last year, I think it was all just celebrations from everyone because finally a beloved theme of LEGO Lord of the Rings was back, and yes, the price was hefty at 850 odd NZD, but the set including all of the Fellowship members meant that it really did feel like a one and done set. If you wanted to try and buy those 2012 and 2013 sets now for the Fellowship figures, you're definitely going to be spending more than 850 NZD. The set is also going to be here for a long time too. It's still here today, and the gift with purchase at that time, free brickheads, which are always going to be available anyway. You weren't missing anything by not getting it day one. I don't feel like I missed anything by not getting this day one. This changes things though a little bit. The addition of the Felbeast gift with purchase means that we only have a couple of days maybe to get this. You have to buy this within a very specific time frame now rather than just spend a year or two saving up and buying it at your leisure. This is something that I think people in the community are forgetting when they criticize the people complaining about the prices of this and the fact that there's a gift with purchase. And the release of a second expensive LEGO Lord of the Rings set implies that they're not finished with this theme. Rivendell no longer feels like a special one and done now because we have this companion piece, and it's a companion piece that doesn't actually pair with Rivendell. This implies the possible releases of a yearly expensive LEGO Lord of the Rings set, kinda like how we get a brand new modular at the start of every year. This is also an issue for those who were around during the 2012 and 2013 waves because we were all asking at that time, where was Sauron? LEGO have waited 12 years now and they've finally released Sauron for the first time ever, and all of those who waited back then are now 12 years older. Ideally, in LEGO's eyes, they've got more disposable income. The complaint is repeated here as usual, times are tough. We're living through a cost of living crisis. The set is about 6 weeks worth of rent alone. The obvious solution here is to naturally skip, and many people have started avoiding this hobby over the past few years now because times are tough, but then the issue comes with the aftermarket sales. If you miss this at release for 750 NZD, you absolutely will not be paying 750 NZD once it is retired. So the consumer here feels the pressure to get in quick because otherwise the aftermarket is going to take advantage of you. Personally speaking, I'm currently trying to find the Ghostbusters HQ. I had 2 years to get $600 in order to buy this thing and I missed it. Today, it's close to double that price. The gift with purchase here isn't that big of a deal from afar, but it does add some unnecessary pressure to the consumer to buy this as soon as possible, or maybe that's what LEGO is actually wanting from us. If this was made permanently available like the brickheads, or if it was a package deal for longer than just a few days, then I don't think the audience would feel nearly as disappointed in this as some people are making them out to be. This is also a problem that could be fixed in retrospect, and that's the hard thing with LEGO these days. You see, less than a year ago, we saw the release of the $1,000 NZD Venator, and this year, hell, in less than a couple of weeks, Captain Rex is going to be released for 22 NZD. I'm absolutely going after that one rather than the $1,000 Venator. If Sauron and the Felbeast release in playsets in the future, then it's no worries here. Timed exclusivity is a good method in my eyes, and I think that many would agree, and for those who don't, I would really love to hear your argument for why. Now recently there was a conversation on Ash and Flash's channel about LEGO and their ambassadors potentially being out of touch with their community. It came from a user who commented this: "I wouldn't call LEGO Lord of the Rings back since the only sets are $500 to $600 each. Bring back affordable sets. The LEGO community is turning into rich YouTubers versus the peasants. Now obviously the statement is exaggerated for effect, but the bait worked and people responded. People were engaged and there were 60+ responses. The ask is simple here. Regular consumers want the opportunity to have smaller and more accessible sets based on their beloved IPs. Ash and Flash, in now edited responses, originally exclaimed his frustration with the community members being labelled as a rich YouTuber. This tone is evident by his other responses, which weren't edited and they do reflect his original tone. Ash and Flash does point out the huge market there is now within the adult community and LEGO sets, and clarifies that these sets do exist for a reason. The discussion was mostly civil, with some people saying that the best case of action is to just simply wait, and Ash and Flash agreed by linking a personal story of when he was in the same situation. But the criticisms continued once price was brought into the question here, with this user stating, "You being so defensive just shows you know exactly what he's on about. Whether you have the money or not, $500 for plastic bricks is outrageous." To which the response that this user received was, "I'm not being defensive, I'm correcting false claims and engaging with commenters. No, spending $500 on a LEGO set isn't insane. No one complained about the UCS Falcon or Death Star set years ago. As a kid, I for sure didn't." The issue this time is that people want an opportunity to get LEGO Lord of the Rings elsewhere in more affordable ways, and I get that, and that's something that I made sure to pass along directly to LEGO both online and in person. When the user responded claiming Ash was out of touch for thinking that spending $500 on LEGO is not an insane ask, Ash responded claiming that the audience were putting words in his mouth. It is worth noting at this point that Ash and Flash is in the very lucky privileged situation of having this set and many others sent to him free of charge from LEGO. I personally am also in a very privileged situation here because I actually have earned enough from YouTube revenue over the past 5 months to be able to afford this set, and that's all just because of you, the viewers. Whether you like the video or you don't like the video, though I do hope you enjoyed these videos, subscribed or not subscribed, again, please subscribe. I wouldn't be in a situation where I could even consider getting this set without the support from this small community, and I never thought that I'd be able to say that, so thank you. I want to clarify some thoughts on some of these statements. I do agree personally, you could just spend a couple of years trying to save up for this, but like I mentioned, the issue here for many people is that there is a desirable gift with purchase made available here, and in comparison to the Death Star or the UCS Millennium Falcon, we LEGO Star Wars fans did have other options readily available at all times. If people could just buy a $100 set that included Sauron and or a Fell Beast, then there wouldn't really be an issue here, but yes, the point does stand. You could just spend a year or two potentially saving up for this, depending on your situation. I think the comments from some of the community members here were taken a little too literally, and even Ash agrees, I think, because his edited comments and new videos now reflect the stance that he seems to agree with you all. We should have more options on offer for the consumers. People love this hobby and they really want to be a part of it, but with the cost of everything rising each week, it's really tough to stick around. And LEGO also just makes so many amazing sets these days that it's harder and harder each year picking which ones you want to skip and which ones to go after. I closed this long video with this. I wish no ill will to anyone in the community, and I don't necessarily think anyone is intentionally out of touch with anyone. We just have to remember that not everyone's situation is the same as our own. I hope to see LEGO release some more affordable and achievable products in the future because I too enjoy the hobby, but I also need to live. If I could choose between this giant display model or a smaller playset of something else that featured Sauron or a Fell Beast, take a wild guess at which one I would prefer. You should let me know your thoughts down below, and liking this video and subscribing to the channel does help to support us in making more videos like this one. Ka kite anō, I hope to see you all next time.